Dale Jarrett moves up to 13th. Two leaders, Rusty Wallace and Ricky Rudd. They changed the lead twice. First 15 laps were run under caution. Then we did have a caution for the Ward Burton incident up in turn 3. Report that Joe Nemechek is off the pace in the Larry Hedrick Meineke Muffler Chevy.
Man, that's too bad. He had a super qualifying time and running very well today.
He's going through those new season blues, I guess you could say. Performing excellent like he did at Dover last week. You see right there he finished 14th. That is not indicative of his run. He had a third, fourth place car last week. Got caught in the pits under some cautions.
Nemechek started 11th. Randy can update us.
Well, they're ready on that. They think it may be a valve problem. Of course, Waddell Wilson, one of the most prolific engine builders of all time in this sport. They've discussed it. Doug Richard, the crew chief, they're going to bring him in. They're going to go under the hood, take a look at it. They don't look too rattled, but they don't look too happy about it either.
Well, that's the one thing you have to guard against. Anytime you shift gears on a major speedway, you really have to be careful, or you can over-rev or maybe miss a shift, and that's really hard on the valve train.
Yeah, right there you see they're checking for plug wires and making sure they're on the right side of the motor looking in the back. It looks like they might have found a plug wire that might have fell off. I don't see them really taking a valve cover off. Well, they might be, because now they're taking the air cleaner off. That's not good news. Taking the air cleaner off means that they're going to try to get deeper into the motor.
Doug Rickert crew working. And a tough break for rookie Joe Nemechek. Kenny Schrader and Darrell Waltrip have had quite a battle going as John Andretti comes to pit road for what would be an unscheduled stop. They're going to put at least right side tires on Andretti's car. This is the 10th place battle here. So Waltrip sandwich once again. Michael in the 30 car, the Pennzoil Pontiac, Kenny Schrader.
Sterling Marlin's just in front of these two cars right here, and he's running very well.
Thank you. That's right. Michael is just behind this battle.
You know, this racetrack is so big. We're up here in the booth. We're watching the monitors. Sometimes it's hard to see everything clear around this racetrack, no matter how high you get. So bear with us. Sometimes we'll call a car that, there's Michael Waltrip in the top of your screen, and here comes Sterling in the front. So sometimes this big of a track, the cars tend to blend in with each other.
Well, if you apologize to me every time I make a mistake, that'll be your full-time job.
Well, nobody's perfect, and we all, it is the truth, though. This is a really big racetrack, and I mean, even up here, way up in the booth, we're up above the start-finish line here on the front straightaway, and over what we call the tone turn right there, as you see them coming through the corner, Kenny Schrader and Darrell Waltrip. That's a long ways from us. This is a big racetrack, over 2 miles long.
They're pushing Joe Nemechek back to the garage area as Darrell Waltrip continues to run right in the tire tracks of Ken Schrader. Rusty Wallace leads this race by 1.1 seconds over Brett Bodine, and look at how Brett Bodine has eaten up that lead. It was 2.5 seconds, and we're now down to 1.1. So Brett Bodine clearly is right now the fastest car on the racetrack.
Mike, there's one thing. The sun has definitely popped out now. A lot of race cars are running well when they had a lot of clouds over the racetrack, may start walking towards the back, and some of the cars in the back may start moving towards the front.
We're 45 laps complete here at Pocono. Rusty Wallace out front. Here's a look from our Ray Bestis aerial platform, providing these shots of today's race action. Ray Bestis, best in brakes. We'll be right back to Pocono.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW-GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by Home Life for all your outdoor power equipment and lawn and garden needs.
First of the leaders is on pit road. It's Jeff Gordon at the DuPont number 24 Chevrolet. Ray Evernham and crew at the ready. And at lap 48, we have the first of the leaders' green flag stops. Here's Glenn.
Jeff Gordon has brought the car in. These are regularly scheduled pit stops. I checked with the crew chiefs. They said anywhere from 33 to 35 laps under green. They were in last on lap 15. This is a 4-tire change. I have not seen him make a chassis adjustment on the car yet. Jeff's down and away. 19.1 seconds. Pretty good stop. Pit road has just about completely dried out, but at 55 miles an hour, the wetness of it's not really a factor.
Thanks, Glenn. Mike Wallace, Brett Bodine, the second place car, and John Andretti are in. This is Andretti's second stop. Watching the Quaker State Ford, Brett Bodine, Donnie Richardson and crew over the wall.
Something very interesting on that pit stop. We've seen jacks taking 1.5 pumps. That jack was only 1 pump up, and he had to get it up a little bit more there. He only made 1 pump, which is new jacking valving, and they're going to what we hear a 7/8 or a 1-inch cylinder.
22.7 for 4 tires for Brett Bodine. Hut Strickland is in. Mike Wallace's stop is complete. Derek Cope is in.
Man, no man.
And Rusty Wallace may be in this time. Yes, he is.
He's coming in now.
This is where these pit stops are really critical. You've seen Brett Bodine running second, had a 22.7 pit stop. Now, if Rusty comes in here and pulls off those 16 to 17 second pit stops he's been doing, that's a lot of seconds on the racetrack.
Glenn's in his pit. Glenn?
And here he comes, eventually. Hasn't quite gotten here yet, Mike. Now he comes down 55 miles an hour. It takes a long time to get down this pit road. This pit crew, one of the best in the business. This also will be a 4-tire change. Again, I can't imagine them making any adjustment on Rusty Wallace's car the way that it's running. They seem to have hit the perfect setup on the car early today. Left side's going to had a little trouble there. That's unusual for this crowd. A little trouble getting the left side up on the car. Boy, this is slower than normal. 20.7 seconds, so Martin gained about a second on him there. That's one of the slowest pit stops I've ever seen him do, and it really wasn't that bad.
And as you see, most of the rest of the lead lap cars are in this time around.
That's kind of funny. They said it's a terrible pit stop, but he's still in front of everybody that was behind him just a while ago.
It hands the lead to Kyle Petty with Dale Earnhardt second, Sterling Marlin third, Darrell Waltrip fourth. And here's Kyle and Dale. And Sterling and Darrell. Bill Elliott's in. Dale Jarrett. This should just about complete lead lap car pit stops.
You know, sometimes this race has brought down so much the gas mileage. Right now, Kyle Petty ran a couple laps more than a lot of the guys, so we'll have to watch that towards the end of this race.
Dale Earnhardt, top of your screen. Kyle Petty on the bottom. Andy Petrie leads the Goodwrench crew. Jim Long heads up Kyle Petty's team now. Mellow Yellow Pontiac.
Man, I love that shot. That's neat. See Kyle Petty already through with everything and back on pit road, taking off. Earnhardt's way down the pit road, though. He'll come out just ahead of Kyle Petty.
We continue under green. Only 2 cautions today. Derek Cope, Jimmy Hensley are in. Morgan Shepherd finishes his stop, and they looks like they push away Dale Jarrett. He may only have high gear, as slow as that car is coming back up to speed.
You know, one thing interesting about this racetrack, NASCAR has a rule: when you go out of the pit, you have to stay on what we call the apron. Well, there's no apron here at Pocono. Turns 1 and 2, when you come out of the pit, you're on the racetrack. So sometimes when somebody comes out of the pits, if there's somebody full speed, he has to get a little bit higher to go on around you.
See Dale Earnhardt running the Chevy Lumina off our 800 line. Mike from Valdosta, Georgia called in, wondered if the Chevy teams will have the option of the Lumina or the new Chevy Monte Carlo that's just showing up in the showrooms. Not yet. The Monte Carlo has not yet been approved for Winston Cup racing. Here's Bobby Labonte, the Maxwell House Pontiac, Bill Davis.
You know, Bobby Labonte really ran a lot longer than the rest of the cars.
Got an extra lap or 2 there. Chris Hussey, crew chief.
Boy, they're really having some problems right now. I've been watching the pit stop. I don't know if something happened. Okay, we're hearing they're having problems with the right front tire. This is really going to hurt Bobby right now.
34. Problems on the ratchet in the right front. The air wrench. Ooh. Iced coffee.
Especially on this racetrack. It's very important. A while ago, you seen Earnhardt come out of the pits with Petty right on his back bumper. That's very important to have somebody to draft with. By yourself out here, you lose a lot of time.